For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, so that whosoever will believe in him will not perish. God says, repent. God says, turn from your wicked ways. God says, there will be no light. There will be no food. There will be no water. God says, your frozen situation that happened in 2021 is nothing compared to what he's about to do to Dallas. God says, you serve other gods. God says, you shall have no other gods before me. God says, your pastors, your prophets have lied to you. God says, because you listen to your pastors and your prophets, that he did not sin. God says, your pastors and your prophets will lie dead in the streets. God says, your pastors and your prophets that lie dead in the streets, their family won't pick them up. I, the Lord thy God, who called your forefathers out of Egypt, return to me, O children. Repent. God is getting ready to strike the land. There will be no lunch. There will be no food. There will be no water. Repent. There is nothing worth your soul. I, the Lord thy God, who called your forefathers out of Egypt, you will know that I, the Lord thy God, cannot be mocked. Therefore, if you're sitting next to someone who's laughing, their lives are already cursed. For God says, you're already judged. God says, repent. There will be no light. There will be no food. There will be no water. Your birds are sitting in suspense, waiting to attack you. God says, return to him. God says, you made other gods your God. God says, repent. God says, that I, the Lord thy God, who brought your forefathers out of Egypt, return to me, O children. You will see very soon your lights are going out. Very soon there will be no food. There will be no water. God says, repent. God says his life is already under judgment. God says, I, the Lord thy God, who brought you out of Egypt. Since you love those other gods, let's see how those gods protect you from my wrath. Who can escape the wrath of the living God? If God is before me, what should I fear? But there is a place where there is weeping and gnashing of teeth. There is a place where the fire boils and there's worms that come out of their eyes. God says, you have made other gods your God. Therefore, since you made other gods your gods, and your pastors and your prophets have lied to you, this is why there is sickness amongst you. God says, repent. Run to God. Seek God's face. God says your lovers will be taken into captivity. God says your lovers will die on top of you. God says repent. God says there is a such place where there's worms that come out of their eyes. weeping and the gnashing of teeth, where people are screaming to get out, but they will never get out, saith the Lord. Because when God is giving you a chance to repent, you mock his message. Repent. God says your pastor and your prophet, he sent them not, and they're not warning you. Your pastors and your prophets, they say there will be no famine. They say there will be no plague. But God says just as sure as the lightning strikes from the east to the west, so shall it be with the coming of the Son of Man. You will have no light. You will have no food. You will have no water. Then you will know that the mouth of the living God has spoken. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob reigns. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob lives. Repent. Turn from your wicked ways. Seek God while he still may be found. Turn to God while you still can. God says the lights are going out. God says 700 people plus died in your last cold storm. God says this ice storm that's coming through will symbolize the coldness of your heart that you have towards the living God. God says your weed won't save you. God says your food won't save you. God says your money won't save you. I, the Lord thy God, who called you forth out of Egypt. Return to me, O children. Repent. Run to God. Seek his face. Run to living God while he still may be found. There is nothing worth your soul. Your friends won't save you. Your mom, your dad won't be there for you to cry to them. I see soldiers coming in. Very soon there will be soldiers everywhere. Your streets will be surrounded with military tanks. And if you think this is a joke, you're about to find out that my God lives. My God reigns. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob reigns. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob lives. I, the Lord thy God, who called your forefathers out of Egypt. Return to me, O children. Run to God. Seek his face. God sent me and my family to warn you. The last warning that God sent us to warn, they thought it was a joke too. Now today, they are headline news. If you don't believe me, while your faces are in your phone, Google North Carolina. I, the Lord thy God, who called your forefathers out of Egypt. There is nothing worth your soul. Repent. Run to God. Seek his face. God says your lovers will die on top of you. God says your money God won't save you. God says there will be no light. There will be no food. There will be no water. And God said you will know that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob reigns. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob lives. And if you're sitting next to someone who's laughing, it's because they are already filled with demons. Your land has been inhabited by demons. Repent, saith the Lord. Come out of her, my people. Run to God while he still may be found. See God's face while you still can. Repent. There is nothing worth your soul. Exalto su nombre, que siente mi corazón y mi osito triste. Yo no quisiera la misma. Gracias a su bendito nombre. En salva mi vida. Guamé, Dios la levanta. Jesús. give them change.
You have, can you close back?
Give them all the change in your pocket. Hand them all the change in your pocket. Repente, amigo. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, so that whosoever will believe in him will not perish. God says your pastors and your prophets have lied to you. God says he did not send them. And therefore, since you believe them, God says that they will lie dead in the streets and their family won't help them. But you have a chance. Repent, sis.
You repent.
If you repent,
You repent.
y'all gonna realize that there's nothing worth your soul. And it's not a mistake if you're walking in front of you. God said there'll be no lights, no food, and no water. And God also said